Today we will talk about better understanding the need for audits. More specifically, I'm talking about diversity audits in your organization or in any company. Proactively auditing our operations are very important to prevent possible problems in a department or organization. There could be many different purposes or reasons for audits. Audits could be done to make sure a company is complying with the local or federal laws. Audits could be done to make sure that a workforce represents the geographical area's customer demographics. For example, from an economic point of view, customers naturally prefer to do business with people who speak their native language and understand their cultural norms. So if most customers of an organization are bilingual, then it makes sense that the company's workforce in that area are also bilingual in order for them to communicate effectively with customers in their native or preferred tongue. So this is why there are so many Canadians and Europeans who are very comfortable communicating in 2 or more languages. One important purpose of any diversity audit is to assess what the organization is actually communicating to its employees, to customers, to vendors, suppliers, government, third parties, unions, and even society in general through its advertisement, printed material, service to employees and customers, through its websites, phone messages, and so on. Cultural diversity audits can be seen as the assessment of both efforts that an organization is putting forward in the actual results that it is achieving from diversity initiatives and programs. So the goal of such audits are to achieve comprehensive learning experience that enables learners and managers to see how various diversity concepts can be applied in the work environment. Such an audit provides best practices in some unique ways that modern organizations are actually working to manage diversity, or how some institutions are simply limiting their diversity initiatives to simply legal compliance. We need to know that people develop criteria, whether conscious or unconscious, which they use to evaluate diverse places, ideas, and experiences. One effective way to communicate our evaluation method is to have a group of people discuss with their peers or colleagues on the criteria used to evaluate, let's say, some familiar experience, like judging a movie that you attended to. For example, what was your view about these movies that I have some familiarity with? For example, The Tourist, The Breakup, The Kite Runner, where I actually served as a cultural consultant in it because it was about the history of Afghanistan over the last 40 years. How about My Big Fat Greek Wedding, The Italian Job, The Last Samurai, The Legend of Zorro? You remember that one? How about Pirates of the Caribbean, Spanglish, War of the Worlds, History of Violence, Anger Management, Bowling for Columbine, Catch Me If You Can? You remember that movie? How about Cinderella Man, Collateral, Fahrenheit 9/11, Hidalgo? How about Hostage, Hotel Rwanda, Kill Bill, number 1, number 2, Laws of Attraction, Lost in Translation, and other such movies. So what kind of ideas do they bring to your mind? How do you evaluate whether these movies were funny, good, productive, or a good learning experience or not? With regards to watching these Hollywood movies, most people will give you answers like, the movie was too violent, the comedy of the movie made me laugh, I really like Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn in The Breakup, I love the music in the last James Bond movie, etc. So this can lead to a discussion and or an understanding of the unconscious criteria that we use to evaluate the worth of something in diversity efforts as well in an organization. So you can brainstorm some potential criteria that a team of consultants could use to evaluate diversity efforts of any institution, whether it's government or private sector. Initially, for example, you may think of evaluating their mission statement and values, and even their website or the makeup of the board of trustees, the upper management. Are they really diverse in significant ways compared to their competitors? You may ask questions such as, what does the organization's website actually communicate about their human diversity and diversity programs? What do they communicate about the values that the organization aspires toward? What does the website communicate about their mission and commitment to customers, vendors, suppliers, government, union, third parties, and obviously stockholders, as well as the environment and their employees? What are the current organizational values and philosophies? Does the company walk its talk in terms of living their own stated values and policies? Do their benefits and work scheduling practices actually recognize the needs of diverse employees in terms of their scheduling plans, religious accommodations, spousal health insurance for all employees? Do they offer a daycare, a flex time, job sharing, and so on? What types of diversity initiatives and training programs does the institution or organization offer? Who gets trained and how? Who conducts the training? What does the training actually cost? How are the outcomes of the training measured? What seems to be the motivation for diversity initiatives? Is it affirmative action, legal compliance, avoiding lawsuits, the belief of a strong leader, recognition of the need to have employees who actually relate and understand their target customers, and so on? It is very important that you develop appropriate and personalized criteria for the organization that you are actually auditing. As consultants and researchers, you should measure the company's performance against those established criteria, and keep in mind that the established criteria can be updated as per the new information in the discoveries during your research about the company, during your interviews, and obviously when you visit the organization or the department you're auditing. For example, a consultant group may find that a company is very diverse in terms of their age, race, ethnicity, and so on. However, while visiting the company, they may learn that the turnover among their female employees seems to be very, very high and a serious problem. Although the company may have visible demographic diversity, it does little or nothing about addressing the need to train employees in terms of gender sensitivity, interpersonal relations, teamwork, and intercultural communication among diverse employees that they have. You may discover that the company's benefits and policies do not support the need of the religious diversity of its existing workforce or employees. So in such a case, you may actually conclude that there is a total lack of recognition to capitalize on the positive aspects of diversity characteristics, since the organizational diversity challenge and diversity initiatives should involve more than just recruiting diverse employees. Modern companies should do all that they can to retain productive and experienced employees by providing teamwork in interpersonal communication, in training employees. Employee retention in modern society can be very important, especially when unemployment rates are low and when the firms are competing for the best talent like they are in today's environment. So as a team of consultants, you can actually develop additional criteria that addresses how well a company recognizes and responds to the different needs of its diverse employees. Attracting and hiring diverse employees is a good start, but keeping and retaining them may require a lot more than just having a diversity initiative. As consultants, your job is to focus on evaluating a company's diversity efforts against those established criteria which were developed specifically for the organization you're auditing. The consultants are required to develop a list of recommended actions that the organization can take to benefit from the existing or even prospective diversity. The consultants may recommend that the organization needs to recruit more diverse employees, or change their holiday and vacation policies, get diverse customers, enter into a new market to learn about diverse customers, conduct a survey of their employees as per their gender, age, or even religious background to see how satisfied they are at this time. They may recommend to provide diversity training to all managers and employees and to enhance their website or to reflect a positive image of the firm. Like any other consultancy project, provide an introduction for your specific audit assessment report, provide a body for the project along with all of the specifics, clearly state your main findings, and offer recommendations that are very practical. If you use some surveys and questionnaires, you can always include those, obviously, in the appendix of your report as well. Overall, as a consulting group, you may take the following steps to serve as a group of experts for completing an organizational diversity audit. Determine which type of an organization or institution or department you would like to audit. It's best if the institution or the company is at least a medium-sized firm or has about, let's say, 500 to 1,000 or more employees. This might mean that you can actually find information more easily about them, especially if they do not offer you interviews. Call several specific firms and get an agreement from an employee or a manager or an official who is willing to cooperate with you on this research during the allotted time period. As a team, try to conduct as much research about the firm as possible before officially meeting with anyone in the organization about the actual project. So use the company's website and their competitors' websites to find the best practices in the industry. You can also look at their published reports and training manual. In addition, you can also find material from secondary sources online, like journal articles and even textbooks that are available in the library. Determine your established assessment evaluation criteria for assessing the diversity of this organization or institution. Be objective to determine if the company should receive a grade of, let's say, A or excellent, B, which is good, C, satisfactory or average, or even D, below standard for their organizational diversity initiatives when it's evaluated according to the established criteria that you created for this specific company and industry. Provide sufficient reasons for your grading of this organization and obviously support it with objective facts. Prepare your interview questions and survey instrument for your primary research. Conduct the interview and visit or distribute the surveys as per your plan to the organization's employees. Analyze your findings and debrief. What does it really mean? What did we learn? Finally, find more information as needed to provide specific recommendations according to any existing gaps and problems for your assessment. And most importantly, prepare your final professional report, recommendations, and presentation. For written reports and papers, unless you're told otherwise, try to use the American Psychological Association guidelines, or APA, for formatting and referencing, and to support, obviously, any report that you do as a result of this audit. So good luck serving as a consultant and obviously as a professional manager in any organization that has diverse employees.